Hi, and welcome to Bululu Wellness, your guide to well-being. Here, we simplify health with practical and easy-to-use tools to help you live a healthier life. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bululu Wellness, where we explain here everything about energy from the root. And this time, I have my mom. Once again, we have two more episodes together, and we're gonna talk about a lot of things that happen in the United States. So, welcome, Mommy.
Hello, Meli. Nice to be here.
All right, Mommy. So, when we moved to the United States, it was such a drastic change, a cultural and an emotional shock, leaving behind all the holistic and functional medicine support that we had, our community. What do you remember about how you felt in your body during that transition?
Moving to the United States, living after 20 years Venezuela because of insecurity, political insecurity. We had lost everything, our business, um, leaving our community, which was huge there. All my work, my center, my holistic center, it was really hard. It was devastating. I felt coming back here, starting all over, was not easy. I felt even my body disconnected, and I started feeling all sorts of pains, fatigue, I mean, anxiety. Yeah, it was a huge stress trauma that was going on in my body. Really, it was very, very bad. And then, of course, with the background that we have, I felt I was getting imbalanced with this new traumatic event that we have to go through. And then I started again searching for help, like always looking again to continue, all the treatments that I have left also, because I was also starting in an age of the menopause. And my doctor, naturopathy doctor in Venezuela, had started me natural treatments. So I needed to continue that. So I started searching for a naturopathic doctor, so I can continue and help me balance all these imbalances that I was connecting in my body that is going on. So
So
that's the
there was
way.
so there was this big move, and yes, you were, and for context purposes, you were in your early 50s going through menopause. So it was this fatigue from all this stress and the move, and also your hormones were going all over the place. So in this period of your time, you found a functional medicine clinic near our house, and with a doctor that truly graduated from Oregon, which is kind of interesting. He graduated from the same university as I did. He went into naturopathic school. I went many years after him, but I went for nutrition. But in our school, they teach us everything about root causes and really seeing the individual in many ways, from emotions to everything. So what do you remember about this clinic? What do you remember about the therapies? How did you even start it? Was it like supplementation? Was it habits, lifestyle? Like, tell me more about this discovery.
Yes, Dr. Kalidas is his name with his integrative center in Orlando. So he asked me many questions about what's going on. Of course, I told him everything that we have been going through and the reason that we had to come back. And then also I told him that because we had to move, we had to do many things fast. And they in Venezuela, a dentist was trying to change all my amalgams from my teeth that I had those feelings since I was a child, and change into a different feeling. So in order to do that, because over there was cheaper also, he took all the amalgams, I mean, once at a time, completely from my mouth. So when I told Dr. Kalidas all these things that is happening, he sent a test to detect heavy metals because he was already connecting all these heavy metals being taken at once. It could cause all this fatigue that is going on in my body too, you know. So he sent tests. These naturopathic doctors, they do many kinds of tests to go to the cause of the symptoms. So he sent me to do the test for heavy metals, and it came very high. The amalgam mercury toxins came very high. So he did tests for my hormones, and through that test also he prescribed me natural cream, hormone cream that I had to put it on my skin, my arms, and many other tests, to detect what's going on. And even he referred to an holistic dentist also, to check my mouth and to confirm. So they started treating me with detox therapy. One of them is chelation therapy that he did on me. Then for the heavy metals also, detoxing. Then he was having a lot of supplementation also to help me. And I remember very clear also because of the pain that I was having all over my body, he gave me a book, a referral book from fatigue to fantastic. Incredible that in that book also they mention what is happening in your body, in your life in this moment, to detect what is all these imbalances because I think my whole body was completely imbalanced.
All right, mommy. Well, hold on. You said so many things that a lot of our listeners maybe have no idea. What about what is a heavy metal? What is chelation therapy? What is even like hormone therapy? So let's backtrack for a moment. So once you get into this clinic, this doctor, like any naturopathic or functional doctor, or even us, certified nutrition specialists, we will analyze, we'll do an assessment of a person that lasts around 60 to 90 minutes, sometimes 2 hours. And we really investigate what are the symptoms of the person. We go by the symptoms, we go by their history, we go by their traumas, we analyze it all. And it seems that Dr. Kalidas at that time identified this story that you told him about your amalgams and, being taken at once. So he was like in his head, ooh, metals, right? And so he performs a functional test that definitely confirms heavy metals is present in your body, which is high on mercury. And he proceeds to do this chelation therapy. Now, before I get into chelation therapy, let's explain what heavy metals are in the body. So, heavy metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, and cadmium are elements that in excessive amounts can be toxic to the body. They can accumulate in tissues, in organs. They disrupt normal biological processes. So, some of the symptoms of heavy metal toxicity can include fatigue, cognitive problems like brain fog, memory issues, digestive disturbances, immune dysfunction, even neurological damage over time. And exposure can come from food, water, pollution, dental amalgams, like what just happened to my mom, or occupational and environmental contact. So it seems that he was pretty on the spot when he decided, let's do this heavy metals test. They found mercury, and after they found this mercury, then you go into a detox protocol. And this detox protocol is something called chelation therapy. Can you tell people, what did it consist of? Were you sitting down? Like, is this like an arm thing? Was it a drink? Can you explain what were your feelings in this chelation therapy?
Chelation therapy is a treatment through an IV that you can stay in the clinic 3 or 4 hours, and slow coming in. It's an IV that will help you detox, all these metals and the symptoms that you are having through that. Because even in Venezuela, the naturopathy doctor were doing that. So it had helped me, and also we were doing also all together, supplementations. Even there is detox food. What food is good to eat to eat in that moment while you are in all this treatment. So it's through an IV, and then I started feeling, after a few treatments, you started feeling more with energy, was not like together with all the other treatments. So you started feeling the fatigue started to, going low and down already, and, feeling like you have more power in your body, that lifts you. So I could see the difference with the chelation.
All right. And so for those who want to learn a little bit more about chelation therapy, is truly a medical treatment used to remove heavy metals and toxins from the body. This one involves administering chelating agents that bind to metals in the bloodstream so they can be excreted through the urine. While chelation is a proven treatment for acute heavy metal poisoning, some functional and integrative doctors also use it to reduce chronic toxin burden, support the cardiovascular health, and lower inflammation. This has to be supervised carefully because it can also remove essential minerals if not balanced. And Dr. Kalidas was helping my mom, and he was supervising all these treatments so she can actually remove those toxic metals from her body. So it seems that after this chelation therapy, or in between this chelation therapy, you told me that Dr. Calidas in his protocols was always kind of like pointing out also because of your symptoms, like he was trying to figure out, is this fatigue coming from menopause, is it toxic? But then there's also like this kind of like diagnosis of myalgia, like it kept repeating myalgia, but then truly there's a true diagnosis at that point of fibromyalgia. So how did you manage that at the time? What changes did you have to make in your daily life? How did you feel on this condition?
Well, together with all these imbalances, I was having also a lot of pain all over my body. Some days was worse. It was coming in the legs, in the arms, in the shoulder. So Dr. Kalidas also with all these tests, he was already getting into the diagnose according to the points of the pains where in my body I was having. I remember he explained to me and he said this is fibromyalgia, and he gave me a book to read. The book is called From Fatigue to Fantastic by Dr. Teitelbaum. Dr. Teitelbaum, I think he has a research center, and then Dr. Khalid explained me that he will work with the protocol of this doctor to treat the fibromyalgia. And it was incredible because even in that book, one of the questions says, what is going in your life, to get all these imbalances and the pain? So he worked with me, giving me all these kind of supplements, uh, also exercises, meditation is included too, to calm your mind because everything is completely out out of balance. So nutrition, food also, changing in food, what to eat. So a lot of supplements and treatments that all together that he worked with me. And then of course I continue working, and even when I came here moving in the university where you study, I have been continuing with all that. Nowadays I can tell that I don't have fibromyalgia. That diagnosis has gone away because of all these balances and treatments. I had friends that were diagnosed with fibromyalgia too, that they couldn't even get up from the bed, the fatigue, and then taking only medications for the pain that was creating more problems in their kidneys, in our other organs. So I feel blessed and lucky finding, all these kind of treatments, and that helped me a lot.
All right, so some people might be thinking, well, do I have fibromyalgia? Like, it sounds like a chronic condition or a painful condition, and they might have it. So, fibromyalgia, if you don't know, is a chronic condition that causes widespread musculoskeletal pain, fatigue, sleep disturbances, memory issues, and mood changes. It is thought to involve abnormal pain processing in the brain and nervous system, making the body more sensitive to pain signals. People with fibromyalgia often also experience tension, headaches, irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety, or depression. While its exact cause is really unknown, stress, trauma, infections, and nervous system dysregulation can play a role. And it sounds like exactly that, Mami. And in this world of naturopathic doctor Kalidas, he starts doing also some interesting functional testing about neurotransmitters. One that involves me, because at that time, as you were going through your testing and this transition, I also experienced, as in the past I've said about my panic attacks, I experienced a very major panic attack that I went running to your house. I couldn't stop crying and I asked you for help. Do you remember that time where I was just so desperate that I just didn't know what to do, and this neurotransmitter test happened for me?
Yes, in that moment that we were all in this process, I remember we were seeing also a psychology doctor. We were going together, and the psychology, knowing what you are going through, she referred us to a psychiatry. So we went to the psychiatry, and the psychiatry, of course, with your symptoms, he immediately prescribed you a medication and insisted that if you don't take it, then you can be in the emergency room, that they will take you to the hospital. And then you rejected, you didn't want to take that medication. There was something inside you that you say, no, I don't want medication, I don't want medication. And then because of that, then I said, okay, let's go to Dr. Kalidas for help, and that's how we got into Dr. Kalidas, and then you saw his assistant, and you were treated with tests and all that, to help you balance that you had experienced that.
That's right. And so at that time, Dr. Kalidas, I couldn't afford Dr. Kalidas, by the way. I had to afford, he told me that he had an intern. I don't think it was his assistant either. It was an intern that was there that they were charging half price, almost like a student. And he was the one that sent me the test. And I did see that my neurotransmitters actually were pretty extremely low. And it was the first time in my life that kind of gave me hope that that's what's exactly what was happening with my anxiety and my panic attacks, because I was working all my emotional symptoms and yet I was still experiencing panic attacks. And so after doing the protocol, I did feel so much different. And he warned me that it was going to take a while. It was not going to be like the medication that will be really fast. The medication that they gave me was Zoloft. And I actually said in the past episode, I did not feel well on medication. So, Mommy, did you see a difference between that, what you remember from that anxious Meli to the Meli that you see now? Doing it more in the functional way, I guess.
Oh, of course, a big change. I admire you. I'm proud of you because all together, not only like the supplements or all the treatment that you were receiving with the naturopathy, also you integrated the meditation because we had already reference and we have practiced and do many things in Venezuela. So we started putting all together what we had learned in practice. And not only that, when you are more calm and in balance, you started feeling connected with your body, with the things that motivates you, the things that you like, and that's why you enter into all this music and dancing. So all those things started helping more and more into balance, your nervous system, feeling, doing all those things together. And so far, everything that you have done, I mean, your achievements, I mean, I feel really incredible on what you are doing, sharing and educating other people too. I mean, you are an incredible balanced person and I admire you, really.
Oh, thank you, mommy. And, at the time, I want to say something like this because I was going to ask you this question at the end, but I'm going to put it right now. And it's like at this time in Orlando, when we moved to Orlando, I really did not have any money because I think that sometimes I tell people about, supplementation. I tell them the cost of my services. I tell them, I remember at the time the session with even with the intern was like $180, and this was a long time ago. Plus the supplementation was another $100, and at that time I was making $7 $7 an hour, which is minimum wage in Orlando. And some people will say, how did you do it? And I'm like, I just had to put it in my credit card. I had no options. For me, my health was so important. Not only that, I was in such a desperation mode. And I know that the medication, my insurance was covering it for $20 and the rest was not going to be covered. But for me, there was like a big level of importance of this investment that I was putting all my faith in. So, mommy, if somebody comes to you, right, you've done all this, you actually, I feel that you've done a lot more intense therapies in regards of functional testing and functional medicine than me. And if they tell you they don't have the money, what would you say to that person that is feeling chronically ill, but yet when they find the prices of these doctors, of this kind of like treatments, they're like, I don't have the money? What would you say to that person?
Well, I feel we all were there in that time, but I had something deep inside me, uh, being honest and telling the doctor. Dr. Kalidas also is very expensive, but when I share with him what happened to us, being honest, saying, I don't have the money. So he helped me a lot. I think there's a compassion part also when you talk to them, and then he helped me a lot. And I was also like you, I don't mind. Priority is me, my health, my family. I even now I can charge my credit card if I don't have it, but I'm feeling connecting first, what we want, because I had experience too that medications can give me side effects. It gives me side effects. So for me, there's something that I said always, whoever search will find. And nowadays, I think there's a lot of information. Even you are educating and giving in your podcast, in your workshops, free education with no cost. So people can be also advocate for themselves, educate themselves, listen to their body, and searching for the right person that are experienced and they know a lot in order to get support. Even the university, going for treatments in the university has a lot of compassion fee for people that are low income, and they can get help, even in acupuncture, the university, all those things that I went through. So from my own experience, I can say that there is, if you have this security inside you, that everything will come, and not fear of charging your credit card, it will be covered in a way. So you are attracting that energy too, that everything will be okay if you are doing the right things. And for me, the priority is also searching this kind of professionals like you, functional medicine, because they also work with mind, body, and spirit, the whole person together. They spend 2 hours, in the consultation with you, finding out what's going on in your life, what is happening, trying to help. I mean, I think they are helping people also. They care about the health. So that's the way we should care about ourselves and don't see limitations, because people sometimes are expending money in other things that is not that important. But I think the health and nutrition is very important, you know, for us.
I agree with you. I think that sometimes when I sit down with people and I analyze a little bit their nutrition or their behaviors and habits, because that's part of what I do, and we find out of people that are constantly eating outside junk food, when you calculate that, it just comes out such a high price that it's one of those things about priority in a way. So I do believe what you said about like whoever is looking or searching, they will find. And I do agree that there's a lot of services out there, a lot of people like me that are always constantly helping in a way. It might not be like all the things, but whatever we can to help a person, we are here to help. So, Mommy, for closing purposes and just to kind of wrap up this podcast today, what would you recommend today to somebody that is living with chronic pain, like fibromyalgia, or any pain that they are just don't know what to do with it? Like maybe heavy metals, like you. Like, where do they begin? What do you tell them? What do you tell to that person that is like in this constant pain?
I'll recommend always that if they are seeing that something is not working, like you have pain, you doctors give you medication for pain, but if you see that that's not working, that you are getting worse, you don't get any benefit, I think it's worth it to search and for professional people that works with this kind of like you mentioned, of this kind of treatments and alternative treatments, and try, what they offer you. Go and look for professional help for people that they are experienced. Like for instance, there are many people that they know about fibromyalgia. There are many doctors that they don't know about some symptoms. So for me, I have been doing always searching, doing research, educate myself, reference also, you know, who is working with this, who is good in this one, and finding places also, as I said, that there is a lot of slide scales for people, to get that kind of help. And yeah, I know many people in pain and that they are having now problems with their kidneys. They are getting closer even to dialysis because of all the medications that on time, even pain medications that is affecting the other organs. So I will address from my own experience, always search for functional medicine if the other one is not working, functional medicine, all these different kinds of alternative medicine. Nowadays, even acupuncture is, insurance is covered, acupuncture is recognized also. So that's another alternative medicine too. So there is a lot. There is a lot of information and education and free information.
That's right. So if you're experiencing any chronic pain, just make sure that you do your research. Make sure that you ask questions. Don't just stay with a single answer, a single medication. If you truly want to start feeling better, just keep moving forward. Mommy, it's a pleasure having you. We have one more episode together to wrap up this series that has been so special to share with you in this journey. I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge, your experience with the world. Thank you, Mommy.
Thank you, my dear Meli, for being part of this wonderful project that you are doing. I love you so much and I am proud of you.
If you enjoy what you hear, subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. The more people join us, the closer we get to building a wellness community for everyone. Thank you for being here. Now let's navigate this bululu together. This podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any condition or disease. If you need help, please seek professional care.